So here it is, the Diocese of Portsmouth, stretching from Emsworth in the east to the River Hamble in the west, and from the Isle of Wight right up to Blackmore north of Petersfield. We represent 140 parishes serving over 750,000 people. This is the big picture of us together, being and sharing the good news of Jesus Christ and deepening discipleship. Last Sunday, more than 11,000 people worshipped in our churches, and almost 13,000 children are taught in our church schools. We can be really proud to be part of this. You are part of this big picture. Because of your parish and the work you do, we are able together to be present in every community, and not just in bricks and mortar, but in people. Some of these key people are our clergy, around 100 of them paid for centrally, as well as around 90 licensed lay ministers. It's by having these people working alongside each other in each community that we can make a difference right across our diocese. But how do we pay for this big picture? It costs some serious money, about £7 million a year. So where does this money come from? It's tempting to believe in a sort of magic checkbook, but sadly, these don't exist. You might think that we get some degree of funding from the government or the national church. We get no direct funding from the government and relatively little from the national church. The responsibility for funding parish ministry rests with us, all of us as a diocese. The money to pay for our parish ministry across the diocese is what we raise ourselves. So we've said it costs about £7 million a year, and we've said where it doesn't come from. Let's look at where it does come from. 2/3 of what we have to spend comes from parish share, the money we share together to work together. The rest is income from investments, property, grants and donations. So simply, the answer to what does parish share pay for is that it allows us to provide ministers across the diocese. It pays for your vicar and vicars and curates in parts of our diocese very different from your own. It covers their pay, their pensions, their housing, their training, and even the training for your next vicar who you haven't even met yet, but I'm sure he's very nice. And this is how we are present and making a difference in parishes all across Portsmouth Diocese. I know what you're thinking. Where does the rest of the money go? Well, it goes on our schools, chaplaincies, towards the national church, and on the running of the central administration that allows us to function as a diocese. Nothing is wasted, and staff of the diocese fulfill an important role supporting parishes through the finance, property, and specialist advisors. You might be surprised to discover just how small each department is. Where possible, this money is raised separately so that everything raised by parishes can go to parishes. Every parish gives to this and every parish receives, which reflects all of us doing this together. Parish share is one of the things that binds us together as a diocesan family. This story plays out all over the diocese, God's people involved in His mission together. Our giving allows us to be present in every community in South East Hampshire and the Isle of Wight, providing ministry and resourcing our mission. It's worth remembering that generous giving into parish ministry will cause this story to grow, so more is done now and more can be done in the future. So that's how diocesan finances work. It's a way that we express being one body by doing more together than we could ever do alone. It's your continued generosity that makes this possible. So thank you for all that you give towards God's work in our diocese.